Streamlabs OBS versus OBS. The age-old debate in terms of broadcasting software for streamers. In this video, I'm going to be going through both of them and helping you decide which is the best for you. Hello everybody, I'm Alex from Waypoint Podcast, and in this video, I'm going to be going through the pros and the cons of each broadcasting software to help you make a more informed decision of what you would want to use before you hit that go live button. In general, I've told a lot of people that Streamlabs is a lot like Apple in where it's not as customizable, but it is very beginner friendly. Whereas OBS, on the other hand, is a lot like Android, where it is extremely customizable and you can do almost anything to that software to help you do what you want to do. First up, we have Streamlabs. Now, Streamlabs is known for being extremely beginner friendly because it is an all-in-one program. This means that you can get your themes, alerts, widgets, all within the Streamlabs OBS program. Another big pro is that all your assets are saved in the cloud. So whether your computer blue screens and dies, or you are on vacation and don't have your computer with you, all of your assets are up in the cloud. So once you bring it to another computer, you are ready to stream. Two other things that I think are big pros for Streamlabs OBS are the pixel guides. So what those are is when you're moving elements around in Streamlabs OBS, you get that little crosshair that shows the amount of pixels on each side of the asset that you're moving around, which those can help really make your stream look good and really locate them exactly where you want them. The last thing that I wish OBS would add is the undo button, a very simple feature that can help save your stream setup. I don't know how many times in OBS that I've accidentally moved something that I have to move it back myself and that looks just about where it is. But yeah, undo button, something so simple. Why? Hey, why? Now with all those huge positives, there are a couple equally huge negatives. First being Streamlabs Prime, which is their subscription service that they lock a ton of features behind. A few are with the cloud bot. There's a lot more of the premium themes and widgets behind there, and they have more items for your merchandise store that can only be used if you have a Streamlabs Prime subscription. And there's also a lot of features with the website creators that they have behind the paywall. Now, Streamlabs itself is entirely free to use, but they push you so hard to use their Streamlabs Prime service, which I don't blame them, but let everybody use the free version if they want. Don't try pushing them so hard. The other big one is there is little to no plugin support for SLOBS, which, for me at least, once I was seeing videos of people using plugins and I'm like, oh, I want to use those, but nope, only OBS. The last con, which is not a deal breaker, but it's something that I think everybody should know, is that because Streamlabs is an all-in-one program, it is a bit more resource intensive on your PC. So that's something that you should know up front, that it does use a bit more of your CPU. So if you have a potato for a PC, maybe look into OBS. Speaking of OBS, some of the biggest pros correlate directly to Streamlabs cons. The biggest being it is extremely customizable. So in OBS, you have what are called docs. And with that, you have a chat doc, one that has all your scenes, your transitions, your sources, your audio mixer. Like, All those are customizable in terms of you can position them anywhere on in OBS. You can even position the preview window wherever you want. And even on the OBS website, you have different themes that you can use. There's one that makes it look like Streamlabs. There's another that makes it look all pink and pretty. There's another where it makes it kind of look like Twitch. And yeah, there's plenty that you can go through and look and add to make it feel more like you. Probably another good one is that it is, at least once you have a base install, it is extremely low impact to your PC. If I'm recalling right, I've used both Streamlabs and OBS, and when I was using Streamlabs, my PC was maybe using, I want to say 10 to 15% of the CPU. Now that I'm using OBS, I'm using 2 to 4%. The biggest pro to OBS has to be the ability to add plugins to the software. This is what makes streamers stand out. The ability to create plugins that lets them do whatever they want. One of the biggest plugins is called WebSocket. Now it doesn't do much, but it helps pull information from OBS. And the biggest thing that people use with this is Stream Decks. Whether it be Elgato stuff, could be through Touch Portal, or what I use, Leorn Board. Stay tuned for a video coming in the next month where I tell you about all my favorite plugins. Now, with how good OBS is, there are some good cons with it as well. First con being it is an extremely steep learning curve. With Streamlabs, you have a lot of FAQs that you can go and look. OBS, you just kind of have to learn yourself and look up things yourself, which Google and YouTube are your friend because there are plenty of guides out there to help you do what you want. But still, just fresh install, it is a lot more of a steep learning curve. So unlike Streamlabs, in OBS there's no built-in bot. Streamlabs has CloudBot. OBS, if you want a bot in your chat, you're gonna have to either add Stream Elements or add CloudBot or ChatBot from Streamlabs, which is another program running on your PC or another website you have to go to and add. And unlike Streamlabs, there are no cloud saves. So if your PC dies, you lose all your assets and you have to recreate all your scenes all over again. Finally, there's no undo button. How? It's so simple. Control freaking Z. Come on, OBS. Now, I have heard from other YouTubers that apparently an undo button is coming. But how is there no undo button? I've had to almost recreate entire scenes because of no undo button. So to wrap up this video, I just want to say use whatever broadcasting software you want. There are plenty of large streamers that still use SLOBS because of its convenience. There are plenty of smaller streamers that are using OBS because of its customizability and help them stand out a bit more. Use what you are more comfortable with. For me, I used SLOBS to start off with just because it was super easy to start with. But once I got my feet under me in terms of streaming, I made the switch over a weekend to OBS. Hopefully this video helped you guys figure out which one you would like to use. If you would be so kind, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more great content coming up, and we will see you at the next Waypoint.